Hey, what are you doing right now? Don't you know Luna just dropped Waste My Life? It's on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, and everything else. This song is the only thing that could save 2020. The link's below. Go listen to it now.
Alright, y'all, so today's story time is about another ex of mine. Yeah, I seem to really know how to pick 'em. Today's story time is a pretty funny story in my opinion, and crazy one. I hope you enjoy it. Let's jump right into this. Story time takes place back in 2016, okay? I was at the mall with the person I was dating at the time, and she was one of those people who was like, oh, like, fuck big corporations, like, support local stuff, like, screw the man, like, that kind of stuff. And I don't judge that. That doesn't bother me at all. If you want to support local stuff and stay away from big corporations, that's fine. But she did it in a little bit of a different way, okay? She admitted to me before we started dating that she literally used to steal from big stores all the time to get back at them. And I was like, okay, just don't do that with me, please. And she was like, oh, no, don't worry, I won't. I only do it by myself. I'm like, that's not really a good habit to get into. Like, you can get in a shit ton of trouble for that and, like, go to jail. She was like, it's worth the risk. I'm like, all right, you know what? Like, you do you, whatever. I put it behind me. I didn't think she would keep doing it since we started dating. And she really didn't for the first month. Like, we used to go to big stores all the time that she would offer to go to because she needed stuff, which kind of went against her whole, like, I don't shop at big stores rule. But yeah, she was not stealing at all. So I was like, okay, she must have put it behind her. But yeah, fast forward to right after a month of us dating, me and her at the mall, and she said that she needed to go to this store that sold shoes because she needed shoes. I'm like, all right, cool, let's go. Now we get into this shoe store, and she sits down, and she sees these ones that she likes, and she asks the employee, hey, can I try these ones on? And the employee was like, sure, and she got her size, and she went to the back room, grabbed a box of those shoes, brought them out, and my girlfriend started trying them on. Now, after she tried them on, and they fit, and she liked them, she puts her old shoes back in the box when the employee wasn't looking, and puts them on the shelf. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, I just, want some new shoes. I'm like, don't do that, like, please. And keep in mind, this wasn't even like a huge chain. This was a shoe store that was only in our city. So she was kind of going against her own rule and, stealing from a local chain. And I was like, you're going against like what you believe in. This is a local place. Like, you're kind of stealing from them. She's like, don't be a bitch. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And she gets up and she goes to walk out. And someone goes, hey, put those shoes back in the box. And she takes off running without me. And I'm like, what do I do? So I start running with her because I'm like, yo, I'm not going to like just sit here and like get questioned about something someone else did. So I start running behind her. And just out of nowhere, a mall security guard runs out from the side of the office. It was like right next to the main entrance and exit doors of the mall. And he sees her running and the employees chasing her. And this man treated his job like he was a Navy SEAL. Like most mall security guards would be like, all right, like let them leave. We'll get their plate on the security camera and try and call the police. But no, this man goes for a full-blown dive towards my girlfriend and grabs her by the legs and basically trips her over. So after he stopped her, he tells her to take off the stolen merchandise. So she takes off her shoes, hands them to the employee that worked at the shoe store, and she had the box in her hand that had her old shoes in them. So she gives my girlfriend back her old shoes, she puts them back on, and the security guard escorts my girlfriend to the security office to call the cops, and he tells me to leave. So yeah, I just went home. I could have stayed there and waited around, but first of all, I don't want to get involved in a situation I had nothing to do with. And second of all, I didn't want to sit in a mall for an hour and a half waiting to see what happened. And you want to guess what ended up happening? The police came in, they called the cops, they came in, they told my girlfriend to not do it ever again and that she's banned from the mall. And if they ever catch her again, she'll get charged. Oh, and they also told her parents about it. And after her parents found out, they forced her to break up with me. Not because they think I did it, not because I was a bad influence, but because they thought that she didn't deserve good things in her life at that time because of all the bad things she was doing. That was her word-for-word explanation of why they were making her do it. And I was like, okay. So yeah, me and her went our separate ways. I think she learned her lesson about stealing shit and how it can lead to bad things. Because I saw her on Facebook the other day. She's not in jail or anything, which leads me to believe that she's not stealing stuff anymore like she used to. But yeah, moral of the story is, don't act like she did in 2016. And yeah, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like on the video if you guys did. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.